First story is titled, Update. Am I the a-hole for not telling people my missing cousin is staying with me right away? Original story. It is the middle of the night, and my phone won't stop ringing because of my family. To try and keep this short, my cousin Jake got outed about 4 or 5 days before his 18th birthday in the summer. His parents, my aunt and uncle, made arrangements for him to be sent to one of those awful camps that claim they could cure him. A kid in his community was forced to go and came back and was clearly not well, so Jake didn't want to go. Jake ran away from home and jumped from one family house to another. His folks didn't file missing person reports because they didn't want to look bad to their neighbors. They just told them that he went to that camp willingly. He disappeared in the middle of October and turned up in my city a week later. After making sure he was safe to bring home, my wife and I allowed him to stay. He didn't want me to tell the rest of the family for a while because those people at the camp keep showing up to take him. I made sure to talk to a lawyer who assured Jake that they cannot take him. 3 days ago, he told his parents he was here. A few hours later, those damn camp people showed up, but they weren't able to take him. My family has been blowing up my phone for the last 2 days, angry that I didn't tell someone sooner. Well, Jake didn't feel safe yet, and still doesn't. I want to make sure he was ready. Still, even those that want to protect Jake is upset with me for hiding him. Am I the a-hole for not telling anyone that he is here until he was ready? Edit. First off, while I figured I was the a-hole for hiding him from my more narrow-minded family, it was those that really wanted to help Jake that made me feel guilty. They were all scared out of their minds and wanted the peace to know he was okay. I felt bad for not telling them. Though I am sure they wouldn't have turned him in, I felt bad because we were working on keeping him safe. Also, we got a lawyer who got the police on the lookout for those camp people in case they try anything. Jake is not going out alone until we are sure he is safe. Third, we are looking on how to get his paperwork, like his birth certificate, here because no way he trusts his parents to just hand them over. My granny-in-law is talking to some people that could help. Fourth, Jake says hello and thank you. Now for the top comments before the update. Not the a-hole, but weird that you think you'd be an a-hole for protecting him from those messed up conversion camps. Keep protecting him. Stick to it, man. Make sure he knows he has a safe place to stay with you. Family guilting you can be a weird and strong thing, but yeah, definitely not the a-hole. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think of that part since I'm looking from an outside perspective. My bad, OP. Just remember you're doing the right thing for your cousin by keeping him safe. You need to call the police since the camp people are trying to kidnap him. They know he doesn't want to go, but keep showing up. He needs a restraining order on these people. This is very sinister. If the camp people show up again, call the police. Take pictures, document everything. Ask Jake to write down every time they've come to get him and if there's other witnesses. You're not an a-hole. In fact, you're a saint to protect Jake from his clearly dangerous family and even took him to a lawyer. Jake didn't and doesn't feel safe because he clearly isn't. There is a cultish organization following him and trying to kidnap him. Jake clearly can't trust the rest of the family, so please keep supporting him until he gets on his feet. Not the a-hole. He is a legal adult, although as someone who remembers being 18, that's far from mature. Lol. It's good that you provide him the emotional support he needs, and he'll probably need a good therapist or support group to help him work through the treatment he's getting from the rest of the family. Poor kid. Jake is legally an adult and can tell those camp counselors to go pound sand and they can't do anything about it. If they try, that's kidnapping and the police need to get involved immediately. Then he needs a safe place where he is free to be himself without crazy cult members trying to get their hooks into him. And now for the update. First off, I want to thank everyone for their comments and advice. Thank you for saying I was not the a-hole because I was doubting myself. Regarding the camp people, we have footage of them coming up to our house and other family members' houses looking for Jake. So we have a clear image of what they look like. I already warned those people not to come near our house or Jake. They seem to listen, but Jake is still not going to leave the house without someone. I talked to the police about it, and they cannot do anything unless these people break the law, but they will keep an eye out. Well, better than nothing, I guess. Regarding the paperwork, my aunt and uncle refused to hand over the papers. They want Jake to either come home or go with those people. Neither is happening. We are looking up ways to get Jake's paperwork without them, but someone suggested calling the police and explaining what happened. Well, I don't usually want to go that far. That is what we are probably going to have to do. Regarding therapy, Jake agreed to it. I am getting a referral from my own therapist, so Jake is going to get help there. Regarding family, insert loud sounds of pained annoyance. Some family threatened to come over to try and make Jake go back home. Others, while understanding why I didn't tell them Jake was here, are still upset with me. It'll be a while before I can smooth things over with them. Regarding Jake, he is safe. We have him set up comfortably here. My granny-in-law pretty much adopted him. And I'm so sure she is going to put him in her will. He is safe, surrounded by people that support him, and I'm going to see about finding him some work when he's ready to try it. Again, thank you everyone for your messages and advice. We will be using them, and Jake says thank you as well. Some top comments. Good update. I hope Jake finds true happiness away from those monsters. Jake seems to be much better off away from his vile family members. If you are in the States and Jake is over 18, he can get his birth certificate and social reissued. You should have a local government office that can do so. Husband lost his at some point, and we had to get his reissued. Also, as someone who also acquired a family member due to parental intolerance of their gender identity, you're doing good. We got threatened with various legal actions, but it was all hot air since there was no actual basis. So, good luck to you all. It might be a bit trickier if Jake doesn't have a state-issued ID or driver's license yet, but it can be done. Start with a social security office. Call them, explain the circumstances, and ask what you can bring to establish identity for him to request a new card. He will have to go in person to do this. Do not pay any websites for this service. They are fraudulent. Depending on what state, you may be able to order the birth certificate online. With both of those things, he ought to be able to get a state ID/license. And if all else fails, getting your congressman's office involved can often help cut through red tape quickly. A lot of people don't realize that their congressman's office usually has several employees whose job is specifically to help constituents with bureaucratic problems like this. On to the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad to screw off and to stay out of my life? Some background. I, female 16, am an only child. My parents got divorced and I live with my mom, but I have to see my dad on weekends. I have low blood pressure, chronic fatigue syndrome, ulcerative colitis, and juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. My mom and I have been working on getting me an individualized education program for years because I'm in and out of the hospital. I have to leave school for a day every other week to get treatments, and no matter what I do, I'm wiped out by third period. My school gave me a 504 plan that did absolutely nothing, and my schedule got screwed up so bad that I might not graduate in time. I finally had a teacher advocate for me and helped me get a meeting to get an IEP. The meeting was set for Friday. The school called my dad to confirm the meeting. It was a mistake. They were supposed to call my mom, and he told them to cancel the meeting and that I don't need an IEP. I'm just lazy. He called my mom to yell at her for getting me an IEP, and I answered the phone because she was in the shower. And when I found out he canceled my meeting, I yelled at him that I'm done with his BS, to stay away and that I want him out of my life forever. He yelled back that I'm lazy, disrespectful, ungrateful, and a lot more names. I hung up on him, and I locked myself in my room, and I've been crying since. My mom's trying to schedule the meeting again. Was I an a-hole for saying that to my dad? Now for the top comments. Not an a-hole. He intentionally did something that hurts your education and your health. Hugs for you and hope your mom succeeds in getting a new meeting. I would bring this up in court. As many people said, he is negatively impacting your education. If you need further help, go to r/relationship advice. Not an a-hole. While I don't think you should talk to anyone that way, the fact that he's completely unaware or denying of his child's medical condition is inexcusable, and I think you're in your rights to not want him in your life. Also, if there's a custody agreement that says you have to see him, get that appealed ASAP because if you fail to see him in that scenario, your mom could get into trouble. Luckily, given your age, your voice will hold a lot of weight if that's the case. While I normally agree with you, I think everyone should be treated with respect. When someone ruins something you've been working towards for a while and then insults you, There's only a limited number of words in the English language that can really express those emotions. Please have the school document that your father canceled the appointment and why. This should make it easy for a judge to say you don't have to see him anymore if necessary. You were not the a-hole at all here. Hugs. An invisible disability can be infuriating to deal with when it comes to people like your dad. If they can't see it, it doesn't exist. For me, 10th grade was wake up with 1 minute to spare and getting to class, 1 minute walk, come home, get snack, do homework, sleep until dinner. Eat, clean up, go back to sleep. Rinse, repeat. Lovely, lovely sleep all weekend. I had no life. It was sad and depressing. I had 2 friends, but I made it through. It was due to major side effects of an anti-seizure medication I was taking. Chin up and get this IEP. Get the help you need so you don't fall behind. Definitely put in the little things like rescheduling tests when it's the day off / after your routine appointment at the hospital. You will perform so much better. Being allowed to perform better will do you a world of good. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for insisting my daughter takes the downstairs room? I'll cut straight to the chase here. I, male 36, have a 10-year-old wheelchair-bound daughter. She's my world. I love her so much, and I always try to keep her happy and encourage her to participate in activities and do what she loves, like making crafts and hanging drawings on the wall. I'm currently engaged to my fiancé, and we bought an affordable small house near my work and the hospital, since I used to drive an hour and a half to get to the children's hospital. The house is beautiful. It has 2 big rooms and a smaller room. My fiancé picked one of the big rooms to be our bedroom. But the conflict started when I automatically thought that my daughter takes the other big room, but my fiancé said she wanted it to be the guest room. She said that the room is too big for our daughter and the room upstairs can't be used for guests. I told her that's not okay, and I would never agree on letting my fiancé use the downstairs room as a guest room when my wheelchair-bound daughter deserves it, because she has to deal with so many everyday challenges, and going up and down the stairs is going to make things worse. My fiancé didn't like that she could use the upstairs room as our bedroom and let my daughter take the other big room. She got mad and called me unreasonable for wanting her to take the small room, and said that it was more suitable for my daughter. I was so pissed at this point, especially since she started bringing it up over and over again. I snapped, and I demanded that my daughter takes the downstairs room and said that it was final. She argued with me about how this decision wasn't mine to make, and she still gets a say in it. I refused to discuss it any further, and she is now talking to my daughter directly and trying to get her to say okay. My daughter is being put under pressure here. I stopped responding to her calls after that, and she's now upset with me, calling me a selfish a-hole, inconsiderate, and not caring about her feelings as a partner. Her mom says I was wrong for excluding her daughter from the decision like that. Here's where I might be the a-hole here. My fiancé actually contributed in buying the house. She paid money and worked hard, and so she says she gets a say as much as I do. Am I the a-hole for insisting my daughter takes the downstairs room? Edit. I feel stuck, and I wish I didn't buy the house since this issue isn't going to get resolved. Top comment. You're the a-hole if you marry a woman who treats your daughter like trash. There is no world in which your guests needs to have a bigger room than someone who lives in the house. You're the a-hole for still planning to make your disabled daughter live with a woman who has no respect for her and no understanding of her disability. Your child comes first. Even if you win this fight about the room, what's next? Will your fiancé insist that the wheelchair not get in the way and police where your daughter stores it? Will she lay out furniture that makes it impossible for your daughter to navigate? You can't be a good father to your daughter and live with, let alone marry, this woman. You need to talk to a lawyer and a financial planner to figure out how to extract yourself from owning a home with your fiancé. And your fiancé better be your ex-fiancé real soon. What kind of person insists that a wheelchair-bound child shouldn't get a ground floor bedroom? Also, what kind of person thinks that a guest room, used occasionally by a range of people, should be bigger than the full-time bedroom of a child who is presumably soon to be their stepchild? Answer: an a-hole who you 100% should not marry. Buy her out of her share of the house and end this. This is not how she would be treating your kid, especially she's now talking to my daughter directly and trying to get her to say okay. My daughter's being put under pressure. Come on, why would you put your daughter through being stuck with someone like this? If she's your world, then act like it and get rid of the soon-to-be evil stepmother. Not the a-hole. For now, marry her and you will be. Not only should a guest room not need to be bigger than an actual bedroom, but wheelchairs take up more space than an average person. They need a bigger room. And of course, it should be downstairs. I can't imagine having a wheelchair-bound child and buying a house without a ground floor bedroom. It's the first thing I would be looking for in a house.